Hey guys, and welcome back to PXH, also known as PureXHeart. Chris here, as usual, back again with another album review, obviously, because that's what we like to do on here. But if you guys want to have something different, then honestly, put down in those comments what you guys want me to talk about, and also hit this like button if you actually like this video or anything else that we do here on PXH. Just like it, just to like it. I don't know. Do what you feel like to do. It's that simple. But if you're new here or returning visitor and you haven't yet subscribed, then what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. It's really easy, and guess what? It's free. So unlike subscribing to Netflix or Hulu, guess what? You don't gotta pay. It's just free, just like that. And also check out the podcast. And so you guys can get that wherever podcasts are available. More of that on a little bit later. But if nothing else, let's get into it. New Creation is the debut, that's right, debut, solo album, that's right, solo album of former lead singer of Third Day, because they're no longer together, so former, I guess, old, disbanding, either way, Mac Powell. So Mac Powell joins the list of assortment of artists that are doing stuff after their band has basically disbanded or just no longer touring or just no longer putting out albums. Matt Hammett has done that with Sanctus Real, even though he left for different reasons than this, and Mike Donaghy of 10th Avenue North, even though that was also within the Mac Powell leaving of stuff, so it's kind of the same right there because they kind of disbanded and now he's releasing solo stuff. And Third Day disbanded, and now he's releasing solo stuff as just Mac Powell. You know, to give my backstory on just a little bit of Third Day, because I can't really give any backstory on just Mac Powell, blah, blah, blah. I gotta get used to saying that for some reason. With Mac Powell and Third Day, I kind of grew up with them. I was not really a huge fan of them personally. A lot of my family actually did like that music. For me, it wasn't my type of cup of tea, even though I kind of enjoyed them, but they just were never really my style. I'm just not that much of a really southern gospel, whatever, that southern rock area, just for music. That's not really me. If I do like some southernness, then I want a little bit more of a folk-like style to mine, just because I like folk music. That's just me right there. Going into this, I was just like, you know what? Mac Powell is actually a really good artist either way. So there's going to be at least some good stuff into it, and at least some of the gospel will actually be shared within a lot of this album. And this album actually takes in a different approach than a lot of Third Day albums, because Third Day has a lot of overarching themes, but this one, New Creation, is more of Mac Powell giving his own personal testimony within his own life, which is kind of cool because, you know, it's his debut album, so, you know, why not tell his side of the story of how he became to Jesus and of how he loved Jesus. So why not? It kind of works, and it's kind of enjoyable. So I enjoy that aspect for this album. And so, since I'm already talking about aspects that I enjoy, I'm going to talk about actually what I kind of like about this album, and that would be just one, Mac Powell's voice, and just of how he has one of the most distinct voice in all of just Christian music, and actually all of music in general, just because you hear his voice and you just absolutely know of who that is, even if you know nothing about it. Okay, if you ever listen to Third Day song, you're just like, oh, okay, that's him. Or, you know, even if you listen to just this, you're just like, oh, okay, that's the Third Day singer. Even if you don't know his name, it's just like, that's the Third Day lead singer. It's just my opening. Either way, he's very, very famous. His voice is very, very famous within the CCM type of world, and basically, you know CCM music, then you know his voice. Also, talking about what I actually really like about this album is that whenever this album strews into the way of Southern gospel, because that's actually something that I'm talking about within kind of the good and the bad, because sometimes this album has an identity crisis. Sometimes it doesn't know if it wants to be full on CCM music with songs like 1991, songs like Center of It All and songs of Jesus You Are has a more CCM vibe, and even the last song with Baptized has a more CCM vibe songs. Half of these songs are not really my cup of tea, and the other half are actually really, really good, and I wish you could have kind of dived a little bit deeper more into that aspect with a lot of these songs, because this song has the identity crisis again of he doesn't know if he wants to be full-on CCM with those songs, or if he wants to be full-on Southern gospel, at least in my opinion, or Southern soul, or country western, whatever, at least in my opinion, because whenever he goes into that avenue, that's a really, really good thing. I like that. It's different, but it still goes within his voice and with his sound and the way that he's able to sing, and plus it just seems like more of him, and probably an avenue that he probably wants to explore just a little bit more, maybe. I don't really know. He has to stray within the CCM vibe. I mean, maybe he likes that. I don't really know. I don't really know the dude personally. So at least this is just what I'm hearing just from more of this album, and from my own personal taste, where would have liked him to go more depth into Southern gospel route, or the Southern soul, or the country western, whatever you like to call that genre, or the folksy type of stuff, more in that area personally than he did more of the CCM stuff. Because the first song and kind of the lead single of this, River of Life, is a really, really good song. It makes you just want to jump up and just dance around and just do the square dancing, whatever that you like to do. I don't really know. I don't know. I may live in the South, but I don't know anything Southern. And also the song Joy of the Lord, which also has, again, that get your partner and round you up and square dancing and all that fun stuff, whatever. So songs like that, and also whenever he gets a little bit personal, I really enjoy, like Love Is the Reason is a really, really good song, because it also has a hymn vibe, and also also whenever he goes into more hymns, it's really, really good. Songs also like Be Praised is really, really, really good. I love that hymn vibe within there. I also like the last half of Everlasting Arms, because it has Jesus Everlasting Arms, that song. They're very, very, very famous hymn. I really like that. I like it whenever he goes into more of the Southern aspect of his life. It's very, very cool and very, very interesting. But whenever he goes into kind of like generic stuff, it's just that. It's just generic, and it's not really my cup of tea personally, and it's probably not a lot of other people's cup of tea, because we're just like, we like you as a vocalist, but want to have a little bit more different stuff. We want to have a little bit more variety. We don't want to have that same weird CCM vibe, because it's very hard to describe CCM music, at least for me. This album just feels like it sometimes has an identity crisis. It's not a bad album, it's just not necessarily a great album. And so honestly, for this, maybe you guys should just check out a few songs off this album, maybe. And if you guys don't really like it, then just check it out on the radio. But either way, just check out a few songs off this album. It's there. I enjoy Mac Powell's voice. I enjoy some of these songs. I don't know if I'll go back to this album, but I enjoyed for what I actually listened for this album, and there's really that. If nothing else, if you guys would leave a like onto this video, and also comment down below what you guys want me to review, whether it be in the past, future, present, you guys put it down in those comments, and I will obviously get to it, because that's what we do. And hopefully maybe it's preferably a Christian type of album, or at least a special episode of I don't really know, but preferably a Christian-like album, because that's what we do here at PXH, because we're Christ-centered organization. Well, not really an organization, a platform, a Christ-centered social media platform. Because that's what we do. Because we're just a platform, guys. Calm down. If nothing else, also I'll hit that subscribe button. It really helps out this channel, and also helps out PXH to grow into more of a social media platform, so we can become maybe an organization. I don't really know, guys. Hit down that subscribe button if you're new or returning visitor, because if you already hit that subscribe button, then there's really no need for you guys to hit that subscribe button. So there's that. If nothing else, go along with Jesus and change the culture. Boom. Bye.